Welcome to On Texas Football. Time for defensive grades. I'm Bobby Burton, joined by Gerry Hamilton. I hope everybody's having a good Sunday today. Gerry, Longhorns shut them out in the first half, goes up 35-0. Then the defense kind of lets the Florida run game get going in the second half, final 49-17. I tell you what, though, overall, this was a Texas defense that turned the Gators over. 3 turnovers. 2 interceptions caused by deflections from Alfred Collins directly, as well as a forced fumble. That forced fumble by Anthony Hill put Texas in key position to go up by 2 scores early. I thought the Texas defense, yes, they gave up some running yardage in the second half, but their first half performance didn't give Florida a chance to even get started. What did you think overall about the Gators?
Yeah, so
against the Gators.
So look, I thought Texas was solid. I mean, I thought they were solid defensively, and I know the rush yards second half more concerning than the first half for me. I think that there's a thought out there, Texas should just suffocate everybody. But yeah, look, I mean, Texas is a very good defensive team. Their strength is in their communication, and they're just being in the right spots at the right times, much more so than last season, versus being overwhelming in talent in a front seven, which you just suffocate you the whole game. So I want to kind of put that out there as my thoughts. But they continue to play at a high level. They're opportunistic. They communicate really well. Look, they had the one bust. When's the last time we saw a coverage bust, Bobby? Yeah. I mean, it's going to happen.
That came from a true freshman, by the way,
yeah.
not from one of the older guys.
Yeah, so I mean, look, they did a really good job yesterday as a whole defensively. And I'm happy with where this defense is at right now. What I think is interesting from the game yesterday is when Arkansas is sitting in their off week and they watch Florida attack Texas yesterday. What are they going to try to implement this weekend in Fayetteville with the QB run game as an extension of that? That's what's going to be interesting to me. And we'll have all week to talk about it.
Yeah, I think you're probably right on. Let's move forward with the grades, if you don't mind, Gerry. Yep. Start with the defensive line. I mentioned in the opening about Alfred Collins and those 2 tips. Sadir Mitchell sighting. How about that? Alex January, the true freshman, played in the first quarter as well and played even some at a 4-eye or a 5 technique at times during the game. You look across there, Vernon Broughton didn't come back until the second half. Jermaine Lole and Bill Norton got more snaps in the first half in their stead. What did you think overall of the interior of the defensive line? Because I thought it was hit or miss. I got to be honest, particularly in that second half, excuse me.
Yes, it's a tough grade for me. But look, Alfred Collins, these are the 3 best games in a row he's put together at Texas. I mean, and it's high-level competition too. I mean, you just think about who those games were against. It was Georgia on the road at Vanderbilt and Florida yesterday. That's 3 real opponents. And he's playing at a very high level right now. Jermaine Lole had a couple of quarterback hurries yesterday. He continues to be a factor. I almost think individually that some of these guys may be better than the group as a whole, the grade we're going to give. I'm going to give the grade, it's a tough one. I'm between B minus. I'm probably going to go with B. And I know that may be high for some people, but it's not just about stopping the run on Saturday. It's about other plays you make. Are you a presence against the pass? Do you make play? I mean, Alfred Collins made play.
Are you talking? Let me ask you this: are you talking specifically just about the interior?
Yes.
The tackle. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. I'm speaking more interior to defensive line yesterday. If we combine the interior defensive line with the edge group, Trey Moore was really good on Saturday. Colin Simmons was a blur on Saturday. You saw Moore's Justice Finkley on Saturday because Colton Vosick was out. Barron Sorrell, he did have the late hit. Obviously, one he'd like to have back. It's a tic-tac. But I thought as a whole, I would give the whole group, because of the plays they made outside the run game, I'd probably give that group a B+, because they did create pressure on a redshirt freshman quarterback in Aiden Warner, and they disrupted his timing Saturday.
Yeah, so you're talking about B for the interior guys, B plus for the entire
Yeah.
group. I can live with that. I think that my concern, I think most people's concern, obviously, would be the inability for those interior defensive linemen, in particular, to get off blocks
Yeah.
on the inside running plays. It allowed Florida really pick their poison and hit holes late. And played into Florida's hand, I thought. So I'm fine with a B plus. Not what you want to see from the defensive front, but I do say this: Alfred Collins directly contributed to 2 turnovers, and that is really rare. And to your point, great news there that he's having the senior year that we all hoped he would. Right?
I want to say this too. Florida's got some good players. It's not like Texas was playing defense against UTSA or UL Monroe. I mean, their running back's going to be an NFL player. He made some plays on his own. They've
got 3 or 4 offensive linemen going to be NFL players.
Yeah, so I mean, they have good players, and I think the thing that frustrates maybe the fans from that game was, well, that was a one-dimensional offense. How can you just let them run? And I get it. But I do want to say this: Florida had started moving people in the run game a little bit. So they started having success. They've improved. And Jaden Ball's a future NFL running back. I mean, it's University of Florida. They recruit top 15 classes. I mean, they have good players.
Yep. All right. I agree. Let's go B plus with those guys on that side of the ball, because I do think Florida, the problem I had more than anything is the inability to get off blocks on the interior other than Alfred Collins. All right, let's talk about the linebacker group, Jerry, because it's an interesting one. We saw Anthony Smith earlier than ever before. You mentioned some other things that went on there already. We saw Anthony Hill with the strip on a run play that set Texas up big. Trey Moore with the recovery. What about the linebacker play in the midst of all of this? Because I thought maybe Leon Golafau did not have a great game. He was getting caught in the wash a little bit because he couldn't fight through that traffic. Same in the run game. What did you make of that linebacker group? Because I'm not so sure, other than Anthony Hill's fumble and Anthony Smith actually just catching a ball that came to him, I don't know that they had a great day on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the box score and it can be misleading, right? Anthony Smith had 5 tackles. Anthony Hill had 8 tackle for loss, 1 forced fumble. Again, he's playing at All-American level. Leon Golafau had 4 tackles. His best play was actually on the perimeter, that hit on Arliss Boardingham that knocked Boardingham's shoulder, put his shoulder to sleep for a while. Maurice Blackwell had a couple of tackles. One of those may have been on special teams. But again, here's the issue. Everybody looks at just rushing yards at defensive line. But Jaden Ball really does a good job reading your linebackers. If your linebackers false step, that guy's he's got NFL vision, and he can jump cut and skip cut, and he can beat you with his vision. So I'm gonna go B minus as an overall at linebacker. Anthony Hill made the huge play, obviously caused a turnover. I thought Anthony Smith's going to be a tremendous, tremendous football player. But like you, I thought the linebackers got caught in the wash a little bit too much in the run game today. And some of those runs weren't always on the defensive front. So Saturday, some of those runs were on the linebackers as well.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm going to go with B minus as well, because I thought that they just didn't seem to flow. And then when they got there, the running backs seemed to have a better angle than them. I will say this, and it's going to factor into my overall grade of the defense. I do think that at some level, Texas decided to just play an umbrella defense behind in the second half. And that gave Florida an advantage in the run game that they were able to take, right? I mean, so hats off to Florida in that regard. But I do feel the linebacker grade's a little off because they weren't the safeties weren't crashing in the second half. They just weren't. They didn't need to when you're up 35-0. Hey, I want to say thank you to our sponsor. That is Carrot Concierge. If you're looking for the right gift for the woman in your life, make sure you check out thecarrotconcierge.com. Jody Reynolds is a personal jeweler, and she is the Carrot Concierge with an office right there in Westlake. Jody focuses on helping men purchase the special gift for the women in their life. You can use the QR code on the screen to see even more, or visit her on her Instagram or her website, thecarrotconcierge.com as well. Jody prides herself in providing personal service. She takes the extra steps to make sure your lady gets exactly what she wants. And because she doesn't have the overhead of a storefront, she often gets lower prices, as much as 30% less than what you'd likely see at a jewelry store. If you're looking for something special for birthdays, anniversary, and with Christmas right around the corner, Jody has a variety of bracelets, rings, necklaces, and more. Give her a call. All beautiful jewelry. Again, carrotconcierge.com. Thank you, Jody, for your support. Hey, Jerry, next thing, defensive backs. A pick from Andrew Makuba on Saturday. One big pass play. The quarterback for Florida went 12 of 25 for $120 and change. You know, Texans had Manny Muhammad break a pass, Jahdae Barron break one up, Michael Taft. This secondary, you can say what you want. They have one coverage bust. They have just been so much better overall than they were a year ago. It's not even funny. You know, I'll say this. Another fact that I wanted to go over, and I'm gonna give them the secondary an A, by the way.
Yeah.
Just if that's unclear, I'm sorry, but I'm giving them A. At one point, Florida was 1 of 7 on third down, and not until Florida decided to just start running it on third down did they even. I mean, they were just out of. There was no way. Texas had them in a vice on third down when they wanted to play pitch and catch. Nothing that Florida could do. Really impressed with all of the guys in that secondary. Hats off not only to the players, but to not only Terry Joseph, but also to Terry Joseph, Blake Gideon, and Pete Kwiatkowski, because that secondary has certainly changed its stripes from a year ago.
Yeah, no doubt. I was between an A and an A plus on Saturday's performance.
That's not bad.
And I'm going to go, here's why I'm going to go A, because Florida's top 2 wides didn't play. So again, it's almost like
a third string quarterback.
Right? So, and you look, their best offensive lineman did not play yesterday, by the way, Damian George. So, I mean, look, so it's a banged up team. They went against, and if I'm going to say that about the wide receivers and Quinn versus the Florida corners that weren't there, I have to say the same thing for the Texas secondary. So I'm going to go solid A, though, solid A. This position is the most improved on the team, and it's not even close this year. Not even close.
I completely agree. Hats off to the coaching staff. Hats off to the players like Jahdae Barron, who returned, Andrew Makuba coming in. Manny Muhammad continues to play well. Jalen Gilbo with a sack. They're incorporating guys like Kobe Black. Now you saw Jordan Johnson-Rebel on Saturday a little bit too. It's good stuff. Wardell Mack got on the field as well. All right, that's the defensive positional grades. Jerry, what do you give to the overall unit? They gave up 329 total yards, 17 points, all in the second half when they were playing not to get beat deep and run some clock, but they also forced 3 turnovers. I mean, this is a team that lead the SEC in interceptions right now.
Yeah,
this defense, they're getting turnovers right now in an impressive fashion.
Yeah, they are. It's an interesting grade for a defense because, look, I agree with you. So the one thing I'm going to take into account is that I think Texas was fine letting Florida run the football a little bit, saying, all right, well, let's just get out of here. Let's get out of here healthy. We're in total control of this game. And let's not do anything dumb here. We have Arkansas on the road next week. I'm going to go A- for my total grade. Because I think if Texas had wanted to really try to slow down Florida's offense on Saturday more than they did, I think they would have and could have. I just think they, like you said earlier, I think they chose to play a little bit of an umbrella defense. And, y'all keep running the ball. Well, let's just get out of here. Y'all can get on a plane back to Gainesville. We're in total control of this game. Let's get out of here with no injuries if possible. and let's start prepping for Arkansas. So I'm gonna go A-, even though it's the most points and yards Texas has given up this season, I believe.
I will say this: I don't know of any injuries on Texas offense or defense that led to game-ending injuries. Cam Williams came back on offense.
Yeah.
I didn't see anybody go down on defense all day yesterday. All right, let's talk next about special teams, if you don't mind, Jerry, because I do think special teams require some discussion. And the reason I say that is Michael Kern comes back, has one really good punt, but not a great day overall for him, maybe. But one good punt, one almost got blocked. Then also Bert Auburn still missing some field goals. That was not even a good miss that he had on Saturday. Is this something that Texas really needs to start worrying about? I guess, what are you going to do? You're not going to switch out from Bert Auburn. You got to get him back and go in the right direction, though.
Yeah, and it was a 51-yarder too. So, like, if it was 41, I might have a different take on it. But once you get past 50+ yards, I'm not gonna sit here and expect perfection. Silas Bolden had one good punt return. Didn't really have a chance in the kickoff return game, so you didn't get to see anything there new. Punt game just okay.
No penalties, at least.
Exactly. There's that. So, you got to give it a B. I mean, I'm not sure I can give anything less than that because it was a 51-yard field goal. Not almost incomplete. Not a lot there. Not many chances in the return game. Florida punter did a really good job pinning it inside the 10, or it goes into the end zone. You start on the 20. Out of his 5 punts, I think 4. That was the case for 4 of those, at least 3 of them. So you just got to give it a solid B and almost incomplete and move on.
Yeah, I think I don't want to do an incomplete because I tell you what, Bert Auburn was almost close to automatic last year, and he just something seems off right now, and I don't want that to be off much longer. But we'll see what the young man ends up doing the rest.
Yeah,
of the
he's
way.
not kicking as many this year, so he's got a lot of time to think about the misses. Last year, he did not.
Hey, I will say this too, by the way, Jerry. How about Silas Bolden on that? First, he had the nice punt return. Then he gets blown up, and he's back in the game. And 2 plays later,
somebody said he threw up on the sidelines after that hit and came right back in the game.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Yeah. All right. That's going to do it. Thanks again to our friends over at the Carrot Concierge for their sponsorship. I'm going to give I'm going to give the special teams a B-. I don't like it when they give up points, man. Yeah. That's my thing. I may have given them a C+ actually, if you want to know the truth, but I was waffling between those 2 grades. All right. Again, thanks to the Carrot Concierge. Thanks to you, Gerry Hamilton. And thanks to all of you for watching. We'll be back tonight. We have the live stream, as well as we'll be on a little bit later with the second watch with Rod Babers. That should be a lot of fun as well. For Gerry Hamilton and our producer, Matt Hutchison, I'm Bobby Burton. Thanks for watching On Texas Football. Hook 'em.